Frank. Welcome to another episode of War Thunder. And today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be taking a look at low tiers because there's a lot of videos on high tiers, planes, jets, and whatnot, but not a very lot of low tiers. Now this is going to be specifically for new players, older players. You should know what this vehicle is, what it's capable of. Now the reason why I'm taking a recording or doing a recording on a low tier vehicle, albeit an event vehicle, is because, like I said, there's not a lot of gameplay of it. Maybe because it's boring, or maybe it's because it's too high pace. I personally like low tiers. If you are a high tier player, you can get an appreciation for the low tiers because of all the fast paced stuff that goes on, all of the high penetration stats, all of that. So we're going to go ahead and give you something a little different. Alright, today's star is the event vehicle T18E2 boarhound. I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, boarhound. Alright, what's there to say about this vehicle? Well, it is slow on terrain, but it is not slow on road. It has a top speed of 50 miles per hour on road. It has a 250 horsepower engine, 3000 RPM. It has a mass of 24.0 tons. It has a crew of 5. Its armor is actually pretty decent for its tier. Now, it has 50 on the lower plate. It has 31. It gives you a total of 100 plus on some angles, you know, stuff like that. And the turret's pretty decent as well. Alright, now that we got the turret rotation is 17.1. The vertical guidance is -10 and 20. Now, is that good? You bet your ass it is. Now that we got all the statistics out of the way, what is it good at? What can you do with it? What is it not good at? Alright, so what a good side, you could, depending on how you look at this, its crew is highly, you know, there's so many of them, and there are some cases when I played this tank where they were having trouble killing me because the crew was so, well, they're jumbled up together, but there's so many of them, and that's where it can be a bad thing for it. The crew is so jumbled up together, you get a high enough penetrating shell with explosive mass, it's going to be one-shotted. This thing can also be one-shotted by artillery. It doesn't need to hit you, but it will do a massive amount of damage. Alright, what is its upside? Well, it has a 57mm gun, M1 cannon. This is a very good gun. I have my crew set to ace, so its reload time is 4.0 seconds. That is fully upgraded, fully stocked, whatever you want to call it. Now, what are its major downsides? Like I said, it is a very, very slow armored car because of its heavy armor for what it is. Turret traverse is not that great, but it will get you through the game. Overall, it is a fantastic armored car, and I just love it. It's just a fantastic little armored car, and its armor will bounce, but the thing is, you're not going to be able to get into positions where you would like to. Therefore, you can use it as a scout. It does have scouting mechanics, and it's just fantastic. You get RP like no other. It's a money maker. If you get this on the market, I would highly recommend this vehicle. It is a blast to drive. Now, warbird, how do you play it? Well, due to its mobility on terrain, it's not all that great. So I personally, like I said, it is another support vehicle. You can be aggressive if you wish, if you have road, but other than that, it is a support tank. It is highly aggressive if it gets down tiered. It's more than capable of bouncing, but it's just too slow to be a scout, really. Overall, it is a highly selective. It is highly selective on what it likes to be. It's kind of a mix of both. It does have smoke grenades, and that can be a very good good thing for this thing. And well, we're gonna see some gameplay right now. Alright guys, we're gonna go ahead and skip to the gameplay right about now.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
Well, here we are on Abandoned Factory. Now our first customer is an SU-122. Now what I find odd about this is I should have died, honestly. I think he was firing high explosive, but I go ahead and shoot him under his plate. He dies and whatnot. It's gonna go ahead and just edit that out. Alright, so what is good about this vehicle? Well, as you can see, luckily we got on Abandoned Factory, therefore my mobility is increased, therefore using its full capabilities and whatnot to my advantage. Now, I was doing a little bit of research about this vehicle, and apparently this vehicle was a demand from the British Defense Administration, or whatever you want to call it. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this vehicle was needed or designed for the British. The British did see this thing did see service. Hold on. There we go. I bounce off the ass of this guy. No worries. I go ahead and just continue on my way. Anyway, this vehicle was primarily used in the British Army. Few were used, but they were still in service nonetheless. So right here we're going to go ahead and use our mobility, and we're going to see a T-34 camping right there, and there he is. That's another thing in this game, you know, how oblivious do you have to be? I could be oblivious. I'm not saying this guy is the only one. I'm obviously oblivious from my last video. We go and pump 2 shells into him, and he's gone. Alright, so I've managed to go ahead and flank in this town. This gives me an advantage. I'm able to go ahead and help my teammates. Now, another thing that I wanted to get across this is its 2 ammo types. It has armor piercing high explosive. This is very good, and it's more than capable of doing what it's doing by shooting things and have the capability of one-shotting it. So here we have a Japanese tank, I think a Chi-Hi or a Chi-Ha, probably wrong. But its explosive filler can work against you because, as you can see, there's more crew members in the back, so I was panicking. What had happened was his crew members were blocking the other shells, and I'm just going on a smorgasbord here, guys. Martyr right there. This guy would not die. I mean, I think I was just overpenning him and just getting frustrated at this point. I try to go for the driver. He obviously can't shoot back, but I'm trying to hurry to make sure that no one spawns in. That's what I like about this vehicle. It's just such a high-paced vehicle, and it's, you know, its rate of fire just gives it a real advantage for this tank. I'm sorry, this armored car. So I look around to see if there's any tanks. There is going to be one coming up. There's going to be like a little bit of face-off. Now there actually is a couple things I want to point out. Alright, I'm in the spawn. I know I'm gonna get spotted one way or the other. I'm checking my left, I'm checking my right, I'm trying to see what I can do. There's gonna be a T-34 camping in the corner right there. I see him. I honestly think that I made a wise decision here. T-34 right there. Now, one, I can go ahead and, you know, kill him right now and give away my position, but he does not see me. So I take this opportunity, and I'm right here. I'm thinking, well, should I shoot him? Should I move forward? Should I wait? You know, it's stuff and little choices like this that make your decision in gameplay more acceptable. Because all I'm doing is spotting him. I realize there's no one around me to go ahead and kill this guy, but that's another thing too. The scouting capability, you know, I'm actually getting points spotting this guy, but there's no real, you know, no one backing me up. I could choose to go ahead and take this guy out, but I risk, you know, him giving me my location and whatnot. Anyway, this armored car was developed by was for the British Army. It did see some sort of combat service with it. It didn't really shoot anything, but it did a lot of high reconnaissance. reconnaissance missions, and yeah, that was a captured Churchill. I wasn't going to engage that. We'll see him a little bit later.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
So I realized that the T-34 has left. I do want to try to spot him.
Enemy forces have
I really don't know where he went at this point. I was actually confused. And I thought he was still behind this, and I thought, okay, well, maybe he sees me. No, he actually went off riding the walls, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, overall, the armored car isn't that bad. It's a very good vehicle, in fact. It's just the mobility when it's on terrain actually kills the vehicle on its own. What else is there to say about this vehicle? Well, it's just overall a good vehicle in general. There is some things that I want to talk about, and it applies to its situation. Alright guys, so we're gonna go ahead and spot the T-34 right now, right here. There he is. Alright, we're gonna shoot him in the ass and see where, you know, slowly take him out. Yeah, so I think, okay, well, I shot the engine, now I need to shoot the cannon breech. I did not take out the cannon breech, I took out his gunner, and then that's when the killing blow is done. I think this is a 9-kill game, I think. But the thing is, I get too cocky, and so I see a Stug, I think 42, yeah, 42, one-shot him, and, you know, oh yeah, I got off track with the ballistics of this thing. The shell you want to use is the one I'm using right now, armor piercing high explosive. And as you can see here, it can work against you. Of course, this is a lightly armored vehicle. I'm overpenning. I'm only doing minimum damage. And the shells on this thing are fantastic. They do so much damage. And it's just overall, you know, what are you gonna do in this situation, you know? Anyway, I decided to move forward, and this is where we're going to run into our friend, the Churchill. And I'm thinking I gotta look up my sides, I gotta go ahead and look on my right, my left, and so on. And this is where we run into him. Now, I have the option, there's two tanks in front of me. I decided to go with the right choice, the M24 Chaffee for the Japanese. Because he is more of a threat, he is more likely to turn his turret faster than the Churchill, and I can easily go ahead and deal with the Chaffee alone. So I go ahead and take a shot at the Black Prince, the Churchill. This is where I get cocky. My situational awareness is crap. I get shot from behind. Of course, it's my fault because I am in their spawn essentially. I get taken out. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next gameplay. The next gameplay was a win. However, this gameplay was a loss. I ended up getting 9 kills, I believe 9 kills overall. But now we're going to the next gameplay, which is Carpathians. This is a bit where you can see the mobility go to shit because of the terrain. Look at the difference in the mobility. That's what kills this armored car. It's just so slow in terrain. I mean, I'm not slow, but it's enough to notice because of its heavy armor. And a lot of people need to realize when you're playing armored vehicles, especially the T18 boarhound, it's a matter of, you know, what battle you're on, what terrain you're on, where your teammates are. I've said this in the Sir Bias or the Super Bias video that it's not all the time where you're gonna think that the tank is fantastic, but more or less about its, you know, its location, what is your role in the game, how you're gonna approach it. There's a lot of tactical shit that needs to go ahead and be addressed, because just because it's a bad tank or just because the tank is bad doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a bad tank. Now obviously I get spotted, I try to rush into a different zone. I am fully aware that my situation, I'm going to have to tackle this one at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and flank. I make sure that there's no one in front of me. I make sure that there is some sort of back door. And when you're playing War Thunder, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to fight alone. Anyway, so I go ahead and flank this guy. He thinks I'm over here camping it, but I one-shot him. Well, not one-shot him, just in general, take a, you know, a shot at him, do substantial amount of damage. Second shot kills him. The T18 is a very good vehicle. It's just, it's a matter of perspective, really. And that's what I could appreciate about low tiers as well, is it's just so much fun. It's high pace. You get a better understanding for low tiers when you've been playing high tiers so much, and you just want that break. But overall, like I said, the vehicles can be good in certain situations, depending on the map, depending on your location, depending on your tactical thinking. And in this case, I'm too slow. Well, I'm fast enough to get into locations where I need to be, but I am not, you know, fast enough to be in a location to where I could be effective. But I managed to do what I did here because I flanked or was fast enough. So I'm here just thinking, okay, well, I have this position locked down. What can I do? I could either, one, push up, or two, I can, you know, camp this ridge line and wait for people to come to me. Now, Carpathians isn't really a good map, but like I said, depending on the vehicle you're in, depending on what you're doing, how you're thinking, the map can, you know, make a difference. Carpathians, lots of hills, muddy terrain, soft terrain. You're not gonna get you know, a lot of cover if you're a slow vehicle such as this, or in this situation particularly. I do spot a tank coming down the road. I am thinking, well, what am I gonna do? Like, what can I possibly do to help my team? Because let's be honest here, guys, I'm camping, which is frowned upon, as stated in my last video, but at the same time, I do know that this guy is coming. I am being useless right now. Until right now. I panic fire. Now I should have got this guy, really, but I panic fire. He knows I'm here, so he pops smoke, and you're gonna see it right now. So I decide, okay, I screw up. What do I do now? Take the situation, and I decide to be aggressive. I decide to push up on this guy. Of course, I hesitate a little bit, but in the end, I do make a decision to push up, which is going to be the right decision. And I check my right, see if there's anything coming up the road. Now, I am getting, you know, I'm forced to go ahead and push this time because, you know, Stuka with a 37mm cannon is more than capable of penetrating my roof and whatnot. So I see the guy right here, and I take out his gunner and his loader. He's disabled for the time being. I don't know what happened there, but I think it's a lag. I take out his engine, and then the third shot, I believe, finishes him off. No, it does not. I can't remember half of these games, guys. Anyway, there you go. Finishing blow. Alright, I decide to move forward, and this is where I get a little bit too cocky with the vehicle. I do see a Italian vehicle. I take a pop shot at him. I do hit him, but do very little damage. This is where my what do we call it? My prowess, your situational awareness is crap. I didn't see this guy. I got too cocky. I got to the point where, okay, I'm doing pretty good. I might as well shoot this guy. Not thinking, I end up paying the price and take out he takes out my driver. So in the end, this is where you're gonna see the smoke grenade do its job. Now, this is where I could have been dead if I didn't use the smoke grenade. Now, I pop another smoke right there. Without that smoke, I would have been guaranteed a death. But I'm gonna go. What do you call it? I'm going to get to. Excuse me. I'm going to get to the smoke. Remember when I said the smoke can help you in certain situations? Well, use that smoke. You have so much smoke. use that moment to get away. There's lots of times where I see, including myself, I use the smoke, but I don't use it to its proper advantage. This is where I die. I get cocky, martyr comes up and kills me. Bam. I panic shot, get too cocky. But if you guys have smoke, please use it appropriately. What I mean by this, and I'm not saying that you are particular or not capable of it, and I apologize if it comes off as jerkish, but sometimes people misuse the smoke. And I wanted to take this time and say, look, if you have smoke, use it to your advantage. Help your teammates, but make sure you let them know ahead of time to make sure that, and let them know that you're popping it so that way they can escape. Type it in chat. You know, a lot of people don't like to do that, and there's not a lot, you know, teamwork is a big factor in the scheme, and it's not really in there. And when you're a scout or you have that scout capability, take that moment and, you know, help your team, scout for them. Even if they're not paying attention, you're still getting those points. You know what I'm saying, guys? And yeah, so that's today's gameplay. I hope you like the talk that I gave you guys. I hope that you enjoyed the gameplay, and I hope you can learn something from this. And I'm really glad that you guys are still watching my videos, and I'm glad for the almost 500 subscribers. I'm really glad that you guys stuck with me. With that being said, like and subscribe to become a warbird today. I hope you guys have a good day as well, and I hope you guys well in good battles. And if you see me, let's have a game together, guys. Alright guys, you guys have a nice day. Peace out.